Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about evaluating expressions and using the distributive property. So let's talk about, we've recently talked in class and on the videos about finding the area of something, right? So we know the area of a rectangle is length times width, right? So for example number one, we are going to take we're going to take this area, and the question is, if you're following along at home, I'm in the second edition Saxon 8.7, and I'm on page 249, but it says find the A when L is 8 feet and W is 4 feet. So A equals, we're going to replace for L 8 feet times W, which is 4 feet. When we do that, we get A equals 8 times 4, 32. Feet times feet gives us feet squared. So that would be our area. So basically we're just plugging it in, and it might help if I write this. L equals 8 feet, W equals 4 feet, okay? So we're just replacing that and then doing the indicated operation. Now, the other one that we've talked about, example number 2, when we have a rectangle like this, we've talked about the perimeter, and there's a couple ways to find perimeter. You could just add up all the sides, but we know that this is the length and this is the width, right? So the perimeter, there are two different formulas for that. We have 2 times the length plus the width. So we add this plus this and we double it to account for this and this side. The other one that we have is P equals 2L plus 2W. We take 2 times the length here and 2 times the width here, and we add those all together. What I've just done here is performed what's called the distributive property. So assuming this, let's say that L equals 8 and W equals 4. We're not given any units, so we'll just leave it like that. If I plug these into these two different things, so we've got P equals 2, and instead of L, I'm going to put 8 plus W, which is 4. P equals 2 times 8 plus 4 is going to give me 12. P equals 24 units. Since we're not given units, I'm going to say 24 units. Now let's do it over this way, where we do it slightly different. P equals 2 times L, which is 8. Plus 2 times W, which is 4, okay? So P equals 8 times 2 is going to be 16 plus 4 times 2, which is 8. P equals 24 units. So you see, either way, we get the same response. However, this method is using the distributive property to distribute out that 2 to our L and our W. See, we got our 2 at our L and our W. Okay, so let's talk about example number 4. We're going to skip number 3 because it's basically just a repeat of what I just showed you. So example number 4, this one says, show 2 ways. Actually, before we even do example number 4, what I want you to write is distributive property, What that is, you're going to put this in your notes, so you're going to like star it or whatever, something so that you can recognize it. A, B plus C equals, what we do is we distribute the A to the B and the A to the C. So we end up with A times B plus A times C. Okay, so that's all the distributive property is. I call it the rainbow property because you make these little rainbows, right? Okay, so with that said, let's do example number 4. So for example number 4, we've got 6 and 20 plus 5. So the instructions tell us, show 2 ways to simplify this expression. Well, the first way is what we've been taught, which is do your parentheses first, this guy. So we get 6 times 25. So if we have 6 quarters, we have $150, or $1.50, or 150. Okay, this is the first way. The second way is like this, 620 plus 5. Now we're going to use the distributive method where we take this times this. So that gives us 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 5 is 30, which gives us 150. You see, both ways we get the same answer, but now you can see how and why that works. All right, guys, the practice problems are on page 251. They need to do at the top of your homework, A through E. So for A, we have A equals B times H, where B equals 15 inches and H equals 8 inches. All right, guys, we're just gonna plug these in. Area equals, actually, I don't wanna run into that, so I'm gonna do area equals, B is 15 inches times, because these guys, when they're, these variables, when they don't have anything between them, they mean multiplication, times 8, H, which is 8 inches, okay? Area equals, mentally, I could double this and cut this in half. That gives me 30 times 4, which is 120. 120 inches times inches, which gives me inches squared. Okay, so then let's double check this guy. All right, so B. Evaluate A, B2 when A equals 6 feet and B equals 8 feet. Okay, so we take A, which is 6 feet, and we multiply it, because these two things are being multiplied, by 8 feet, okay? And whatever that number is, we're gonna divide that by 2. 6 times 8 is 48 feet squared, because we have feet times feet. Divide that by 2, we end up, either way, yep, there we go. We end up with 24 feet squared, 24 feet squared. Okay, so for C, I'll come around and check those, because those can be different depending on how you're doing that. So make sure that this is at the top of your homework. For D, show 2 ways to simplify this expression, 620 minus 5. Way number 1 is 6 times 20 minus 5, which is 15, okay? 6 times 15, double this, 30, cut this in half, you get 3, so 90. The other method, so that's one method. The other method is gonna be 6 times 20, which gives us 120, minus 6 times 5. If it helps, I'll write that right here, 620 minus 5. So 6 times 20 gives us 120. 6 times 5 gives us, and I'm going to use this same sign, minus 30, okay, equals 90. Both those we got 90, so we know we did it right. We just showed 2 different ways. Write 2, and so for E, write 2 formulas for finding the perimeter of a rectangle. So for E, you could have perimeter equals 2 length plus width, right? Or you could have perimeter equals 2 length plus 2 width, okay? All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, that is it for lesson 41. Thanks, guys.